Hello, G-Man 5D. We're back. It's a day late, but I mean, is it really a Lucian recap if it isn't at least a day late? I mean, we're actually setting records on a day late. I think I've been a week late before. So we'll go through this one. As I just want to say before I start this one, if there's anything in particular about these recaps that you like or don't like, can you let me know so I can either incorporate it more or incorporate it less? I know I don't do very much because A, I don't have video editing software or skills, and B, I don't have much time, so I kind of just do these raw shoots where I just run through and give my opinion. If you like that, that's good. If you don't, or you've got like even like small suggestions what I could do to make it more enjoyable for you, then just let me know. If you just want to write their shit, feel free. I mean, I'm still going to do the next 6. Just means I'll slate your team a lot more. So just get out of the way and we'll go straight to see the schedule. The good thing about being a day late is that this game, Highgate Wardens and Valakas Ass Kickers, was actually being played yesterday when I should have been doing the recap. So it was a good way to combine not doing it with having a reason. So see the result here, the Valakas Ass Kickers have had an absolutely valiant run at this so far, but they finally fall to the Highgate Wardens. I mean, it makes sense on paper. I think Burner's High Elves are pretty sick with the skills they've got, and they are High Elves versus early Chaos, and although Teocles got a really good team going on, it's still early Chaos, so I think what's happened here is probably just by the books game. Elves have done elf things, Chaos haven't gotten the injuries they need. They probably fumbled the ball at some point. It usually happens when you don't score any touchdowns. There was a fumble somewhere along the way. So it's probably just really well played from the Elves and a bit unlucky from the Chaos. Makes me upset because the Ass Kickers are honestly they get my success story stamp for this season just by having 4 wins already. I think it's 3. Is it 3 wins? It is 3 wins and a draw. Brilliant. I love it. So that's good. Next, you have the Swizzle Sticks beat the Gorkies 2-1, which is a good run from the Gorkies. Dark Elves getting 2 touchdowns isn't hard, unfortunately. I'll imagine that they scored, or the Gorkies were forced to score early, and then 2 touchdowns, so the Dark Elves just came by running up the side. I did think the Dark Elves would win that. I think I've tipped the Dark Elves every week just because they just have it going on. And I mean, obviously the Swizzle Sticks are higher up the board than the Gorkies as well, which played into their favour. So I mean, understandable day. Good going to get a touchdown though. Touchdowns always good. Get your SPP, get your pride, love them. Nimrats versus the Althoff Black Widows. So I mean, we knew this actually. We knew this because when I did the week 5 recap, they'd already played on immediately Wednesday, so we knew that one. Unfortunately for the Rats, they're not having a good season. They're crippled and they're not got development. And honestly, I love them. I love them for it. Those little rats, they just keep coming back, and they're gonna get a win. I'm calling it right here. I don't know which week it's coming in. Don't know who it's against. But these rats are going to beat somebody in the top 5, right? It's going to come out of nowhere and it's going to shock the system. I'm calling it right now. And then, absolutely no pressure on you Nimrats, but I've called it, so you have to do it now. Heinous Huggies versus Byzantine Bashers. So, I did tip this towards the Huggies. A, because they have a better record right now, so that favours the coach slightly, and they have better SPP. But also, because Nurgle, especially at this stage, are kind of just Chaos but better. Like, you've both got the Warriors, except his have Disturbing Presence and Foul Appearance. You've both got a big guy, except his has got like tentacles and stuff. Yours has just got horns, which is good, but it's a bit less. And then, say, Beastmen are better than Rotters, but Rotters are also more disposable, so you've got like fouling pieces and stuff like that. So I mean, I tipped Nurgle, and they did win. And that's just how it goes. 2-0 is again unfortunate. I'm going to imagine the Bashers maybe on their offense have probably had a ball fumble in there, or a dodge fail at the wrong time, maybe a skulls, something to drop the ball over to the other side, which is a shame. But it's good going by the Nurgle. Really good going. Next up, now, I've been informed by Bantok that my pronunciation of this team name is horrific. and he's given me quick Swedish lessons, and I've disregarded them completely, and I'm going back to calling them Edel och Pobel. He said it really fast. So Edel och Pobel. So weird, really weird. Right. I only speak English, so they got a draw, which is good. I mean, Lorcos de la Cabeza, one each. Brett's versus Orcs. I'm just gonna. I don't know. I think it's a tough matchup for Brett's. Other people disagree. Other people like Brett's more than I do, but I think it's tough, and I think it was good to get one against the Orcs. Was the Orcs fantastic to capitalise? It's a big draw for both of them, who are slightly further down the table. Obviously, both wanted a win, but neither could really afford a loss. So a draw. Share the SPP. Hopefully, not too many people died. That'll be pretty good for both of them. Could have went worse. Oh, that's interesting. No blitzing with Wolf. Amvitank has beat Freya's guard. Now, I'm pretty sure I said that 60% on the Norse, 40% on the Necro, and 40% was correct. You know, I should have took the small bit. 2-0, brilliant. Really well played. Necro to beat Norse 2-0 is a good game. It's well done. It means you didn't fall for any frenzy traps. It means you've managed to use your block piece as well. It's really impressive, and you should be, unless because I didn't see it, it could have been a complete Dyson. Freya's could have only rolled Snake Eyes, while No Blitzing with Wolf has done 6-up pickups. But if it was a standard game with just a little bit of luck going your way to capitalise and pull a 2-0, it's really well done. You should be really happy with that. Unlucky, Glorium, but you know, you'll bounce back. You get them next time. That's how it works. And then the Tacklers versus the Barbecue Brawlers. Now, see, Barbecue Brawlers having a pretty rough season. Banthok not happy with Bretonians, much like myself. Just feels a bit constricted by the team. Going up against the Sirs Undead, who are really good, and he plays well. And 2-1 is actually a pretty good result for the Brawlers to get a touchdown in. I like that. If you're going to lose, you want to lose with a touchdown in, because it just gets you something out of the game. So that is good, and it's well played by the Tacklers. So take a quick look at the leaderboard. Oh, just say it now. This week I'm only going to give your teams a quick rundown, because obviously we just had the 2-week recap one game ago. Nobody will have got anything crazy. I'm just going to look for any big level ups or any slight comments I have to make, and we'll leave it at that. Going into next week, I'll do another more in-depth rundown of the teams. I just feel like if you give an in-depth rundown of the teams every week, you repeat yourself a lot. Because really in one game, how much happens? You only get on average, like, even if you win, you get like 8 to 15 SPP. You know what I mean? And as we start to get through the weeks, that's even less level ups. So there's usually not much to look at other than deaths, to be honest. So a shorter one on that. So leaderboard. Burner has took first place, 5 wins and 1 loss. It's fantastic standing for High Elves. High Elves are not as good as the other elves at the start, but he's just thrown that out the window and said, yeah, I don't care. The Sir, with that win, comes back into second. They're still the only undefeated team with 2 draws. Leaves them 1 point behind Burner, though, because 5 wins is worth more than 4 wins. That's just life. Then you have the clump of joined third. I mean, if you go down to Sickless Swizzlestick Season 6, well, Grumpelkins Season 6, the team Swizzlesticks is in there. They're actually joint third. You have No Blitzing with Wolf, Alpha of Black Widows, Heinous Huggies, and Sickless Swizzlesticks all up there on 4-1-1, which is a really good record, joint third. I just want to say the big one that I want to point out in there is Heinous Huggies. Sulphur came into this short Nurgle Warriors, short level ups, with a team that are notoriously bad in their first season, and he's in joint third, only 1 win behind first. In there were the 2 Dark Elf teams that I thought would be first and second. In there were a really good Necromantic team. Above a Norse team. It's really, really impressive. Like, all credit to Sulphur. He must be playing really well. Glorian drops to 7th, which, just because of the clump in the middle there, is actually 4th. You know, when you say someone's in 7th in a division at the midway point, you sort of think maybe their season's over. Absolutely isn't, because he's still only 1 win behind first and 7th. That's how tight this top half of this table is. First and 7th are separated by 3 points. 1 win. That's it. It's ridiculous. I'm really enjoying watching this. He's now got 2 losses, so he really needs to get back on the win train, I feel, next week. Teocles Valakas Ass Kickers unfortunately lost. They're in 8th, still only 2 wins from 1st, which is ridiculous. 1st to 8th, 2 wins. Chaos don't do well early, but I love watching these guys just prove me wrong. The Gorkies have pulled the symmetrical season so far on the 2-2-2. Brings them to 9th. I mean, that's not even a bad score. It's not like you're losing every game. But yeah, in this crazy stacked top half, just puts you way down there. 10th comes Banthok, 1-1-4. Another loss this week. Doesn't really move his position. Still holding his place just above the other Bretonians, who obviously Niklas Svensson is 0-3-3, picked up his 3rd draw, I think in a row actually. So doing really good at getting his own touchdowns in. Needs a little shoring up defensively, that would imply, but obviously not terrible because he stopped losing games. It's well played, better than I can do with Brett's. Lorcos de la Cabeza picked up their 1st draw this week, goes 0-1-5, gets them out of the field of teams with no points. There was originally 3 of them, now we're down to 2. He has a point on the board, so good job RSV. And then you have Toast of Eights Byzantine Bashes. Fortunately took another loss, brings him to 0-0-6, which is exactly the same as the Nimrats, Laguna Calahad 0-0-6. These 2 teams, I mean, you're going to get a point on the board, it'll come, some points will come, you'll see a win as well. I think both teams will see at least 1 win. It's just unfortunate for 2 different reasons. One is Chaos are a hard start, and obviously when you start losing it comes even harder, so that's what stuck them. And then for the Rats, it's once you start taking injuries early, if you can't get level ups, then you're just going to take more losses. Your team's just going to get weaker. So it's a problem for both teams to start this way. But I think, especially Chaos, sorry Nimrats, just Chaos are better at this than Skaven are, can keep their players alive and slowly get the SPP and start to bring themselves back into it. Rats are kind of running the risk of every game just being a slaughter, like where their journey rats are killed off the line and their gutter runners can be hunted down by tackle players and things. It can get pretty nasty. So I do hope the Rats turn it around quickly. I mean, luckily in this division, there's not going to be overly much actually coming to kill you. You've got a good bunch of elves up the top. Bretts aren't going to kill you. You do have the Orcs, Chaos and Nurgle to deal with though. But hey, that's life. That's life as a rat. So coming on to this week's games, I have no Blitzing with Wolf versus the Highgate Wardens. This is big. This is really big because obviously if no Blitzing with Wolf win, they can take 1st place from Burner by beating them. That's a really big one to win. If Highgate Wardens win, they solidify 1st place and push one of their contenders properly out of like that clump of teams. So this is going to be a huge one. A draw, obviously, for both teams is not bad, but they'll both really want to win. I think you should go all in on trying to win this one because of the security it's going to give you in the top of the table. Barbecue Brawlers versus Lorcos de la Cabeza is the opposite deal. It's essentially, it's not the opposite deal, it's the same deal at the opposite end of the table. Whoever wins here will have a better hold on not coming last and making the push for the mid-table. So they're both going to really want it. And I am going to tip Lorcos, mostly because I think this will be a very even matchup, and then it's swayed by the fact that Banfox shit at Blood Bowl, so obviously Lorcos will win. Chuvalheim Tacklers take on Byzantine Bashers. Just going to give it to the Tacklers. I am sorry to the Byzantines, but when you're 0-0-6 and you're going up against Undead, who are a really strong team, and the coach is undefeated, I can't give you the on paper advantage. There's only one person that can give you an advantage at this point, and his name is Nuffle, not Lewisham. You know? You need a bit of luck, you need a lot of skill. It's not impossible, nothing in Blood Bowl is impossible, but I could give this one, I'm going to say, quite heavily to the Chufalem Tacklers. Freya's Guard versus Alpha Black Widows. Now this one's good. This is another one of those top table clumps going at it. I think the Alpha Black Widows definitely have the advantage on paper. Dark Elves are better than Norse, on paper. When I say these things, never take it personally. All my opinions on Blood Bowl are like mostly just from experience and just always like on paper. I know that in game the coaches and the roles make a lot of difference. I just look at the races as they are, and Dark Elves are better than Norse. And considering the Alpha Black Widows have a lot of skills, but so do Freya's Guard, and Glorian does have 4 wins. So I think coach and skill wise this one's even. So I'll tip it slightly to the Black Widows just because Dark Elves. But I could see a draw quite realistically here in this one. I could see a draw. We'll see how that pans out. I'm gonna make that's my bold prediction. Every other prediction I've made, I've picked someone else to win. I'm gonna say draw, right? And if I get that right next week, I'm gonna clap. Adeloch Pobel, whatever. Adeloch Pobel, I don't know. Adeloch Pobel, because I'm for Britain, is against the Gorkies. And I mean, it's Bretts versus Orcs in both the matchups here and here. And in that scenario, I favour Orcs. But Bretts are a little bit faster. And where are they on the leaderboard? Well, Gorkies have got 2 wins. Adele's got 3 draws. I'm not sure who to give this one to, but I'm gonna. Well, I say I'm not sure, and then I'm about to do it anyway. I'm gonna say the Gorkies. Orcs, I feel, are just a little bit better than Batonians, especially considering they're not highly skilled teams. Either of them, they're both kind of bottom of the table right now. And the Gorkies obviously have a better record of actually winning games at the moment. But Adele, I don't know. Nicholas and his team have held some pretty good draws in recent weeks, so he could prove me wrong quite easily. Could be interesting, but I'm going to go with the Gorkies. Heinous Huggies versus Valakas Ass Kickers is game of the week. I'm so excited. I mean, I barely have time to do these recaps and play my own games, so catching streams is hard. But if I see it going live, I'm gonna try my best to get in on this. If you guys could play it on Sunday night, I'd be really, really thankful. Because these are the teams that shouldn't be doing as good as they are, and it's 2 Chaos teams going at each other. Like I explained in the game between Huggies and Byzantines, Nurgle have a slight advantage in that they have a few more extra skills and essentially the same players. But the Valakas Ass Kickers have the advantage of being fan favourites just because they upend my predictions every week. So I'm not going to make a score prediction on this one. I think either of you are as capable of winning as the other, and I just want to see it. Like, I just want to see Chaos Warriors smashed each other's heads in. I want the Minotaur to punch the Beast. I want the Rotters dead. I want Beastmen raised as Rotters. I just want it to go. And because I've said all this, this will be the 0-0 of the week. But go for it. And then Nimrats versus Sickless Wizzlesticks. Now, you guys probably noticed the pattern that every single week I back the Dark Elves. I'm going to back them again here. And for the same reasons, I think Dark Elves are the best team. These Dark Elves are doing really well. They've got a lot of really good skills. And unfortunately, the Nimrats are 0-0-6. Which, it's just the same situation as the Byzantines. I'm not saying you can't win. I'm not saying give up. I'm just saying that on paper, obviously, I'm going to bet against you. And that's unfortunate, but true. So I give this one to Sickless Wizzlesticks. But never rule out Skaven, because one gutter runner with a ball can just ruin your life. And that's just, we all know the pain. We all know it. So, like I said, just a quick run through the teams. I'm only going to really stop if I see anything that seems really out of the ordinary or that we haven't seen before. I actually don't think there's been much change at all here. I think that's a new zombie, but yeah, no, really standard, really scary skills, looking good. Excuse me. Look at the Norse coming off their 2nd loss in a row. Still not carrying many injuries, just 1 injured lineman, not scary at all. Missing its game lineman, but that's not a carried injury. It's no problems there. Kilometric blow, we've seen all this. Movement 8 on a runner is really good, especially because he's blodge. That would be really good for scoring touchdowns. Yeah. Tackle shadowing, like that combo. Really hard to get away from him. He's likely just asking to be hit in the face at some point now, but that's it. Yeah, team's looking relatively intact for a Norse team that lost 2 in a row. Into the team motto. Yeah, carrying injuries on peasants, not bad. They're just peasants. 2 dirty player block. 2 mighty blow. Mighty blow and a blitzer is good. Really good. That's doubles. I like it. He doesn't get his blodge yet, but I mean, you've got this guy for that. I can see him doing some work. I quite like that. Team's looking okay. The Nurgle, and it's going to be impressive because they started from like nothing. They had to work their way up. Started from the bottom. Strength 4 Pest go. He can blitz big guy. Strength 5 Nurgle Warrior with Mighty Blow. Look at that. I told him you didn't need to take block immediately. Get somebody that can just do damage. Well, there you go. I mean, he's got a long way to go to get block now, but Jesus, why would he need it? That is a reliable big guy. That could be the game changer versus the ass kickers. Genuinely ridiculous. And I mean, that's brilliant. He's probably best player in the division right now. Just on like fear factor, he'll kill you. Oh, to a block, God, and 2 rotters. All his rotters were dead last week, so it's good to see them back. So Nimrats just broke 1k. I mean, injury wise, actually looking okay. The gutter runners are okay. He's missing a storm vermin though. There's no money. But a thrower has movement 8 for. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not good. This team doesn't look like a team that's played 6 games. Looks, you know, should. It's gonna be difficult to win out next week with this team. But when you've got these, it's never impossible. Dark Elf team. Juggernaut Witch Elf. I had to speak about this last week. Love it. Absolutely love it. Souped up these guys. Fantastic for Dark Elves, really. Need to get a touchdown on him. Like, immediately. Stop getting touchdowns with anybody else. Get him blodge. Right now. Agi 5 without blodge. Terrible. He's got still wrestle heavy. I don't agree. I don't like wrestle heavy Dark Elves, but I mean, you're the one winning games. I'm bottom in my division, so clearly an idiot. Oh, that looking good. Love the Juggernaut Witch Elf. I'll say it every week. Absolutely love it. The ass kickers. Now they have level ups to do. These beastmen could be game changers. They've got 2 mighty blow. They've got more block, which could be really helpful against the Nurgle. Just have more block. We all know that both down comes up more than any other dice roll result, I feel. Oh, I just had to have a drink. Throat's going. So I think all that block's going to help. These 2 level ups. I mean, I can't speak for Theocles, but I think he's going to be block if they roll singles, just based on his previous choices. He's got ways to deal with it. Obviously, the strength 5 dude, but I think this is actually looking easier for the Nurgle than it is for the ass kickers. But they perform best when they're the underdogs. Now, the Gorkies. The Gorkies have their Goblin, so the 1-turn potential is there. Got to fear that. The craziest blitzer I've ever seen. In fact, what am I saying about that strength 5 Nurgle Warrior? You can fuck off. Right? Oh, bad words. Don't tell Metal. He can go away. Strength 4, Agi 4, Armor 9. Crazy. As a better vampire, and it has block, and he's about to get another skill. He's the craziest player in the division. Backed up by some really solid orcs. And the 1-turn potential. I don't agree with the Agi 4 lineman. I don't see the point. You've already got an Agi 4 blitzer. You're a team on Agi 3, so you're really not that stuck. There is going to be times when having a guy that can 2-up dodge is obviously going to look good, and you're going to be like, yes, that was really helpful. But he's also worth 90k, and other than that, he's just a line orc. He only moves 5. It's a bold choice, but it might pay off for you. It's your team. The Black Widows, and this is one expensive team. Yeah, and they're positioned out. Yeah, they have both Witch Elves, 4 blitzers, and usually the runner. All you need now is an assassin. You can afford one. Where is he? I'm telling you this now. The first Dark Elf to buy an assassin is going to get favourable team reviews for the rest of the broadcasts. I'm telling you. 4 blodgers, 6 blodgers. Sorry if you count up here. I would have liked the Wrestle Witch, but I think I'm echoing. I'm sure I've said that before last week, so you can take 6 blodge if you want. Also Wrestle stacked, which I don't like, but you do you. 1 mighty blow, Agi 5, movement 8. Looks great. Scary team. I can see why it's winning games. It's just a consistent, scary team. I would not want to be against it. Oh, the Byzantine Bashers. I've actually got a lot coming on. I've got the Strength 4 Beastmen, so Blitz is on 5 strength. Wrestle Beastmen, go for the ball. I mean, none of the skills are bad, and only one injured Beastman is fine. It's the lack of skills which is shown, and I think it's a result of going 006, unfortunately. But, get some Mighty Blow. I said this last week, get some Mighty Blow, and get your team rolling. You can do it. You can do it. So a lack of skills there is really the main takeaway. Lorcos de la Cabeza finally picking up points last week. Cost them a Black Orc. Oh, it's going to be rough going in the next week's game. 4 heroes though is helpful, and 2 cases of guard and 1 of Black Orc. Same as I just said to the Bashers. Get yourself some Mighty Blow. You've got so many players that can take it. It's such a good skill. Get it quickly. It's all I would say at this point. No blitzing with Wolf. Gee, there's a lot of players in here, isn't there? Yeah, a lot of. I like A B C D E F G H I J K L M N P Q R S T V W X. He's cool. Not seen any crazy skills in here. You got a block dodge werewolf, which is good. We'll say the Mighty Blow werewolf's the scariest thing in the world. Complimented him on his block before. To guard is fine. Ball carrier, ball sacker, dirty player. Oh yeah, dirty player with kick, which I don't like. We've been through that because you could be scared to use a dirty player because of a kick. Well, this team hasn't changed at all really since we last looked at it, but it is looking good. I'd be scared to play against it. The BBQ Brawlers. No skill ups from the last discussion that I can see. Still don't like Nerves of Steel. Still really like Frenzy. Agi4 Guard's brilliant. And Dirty Player, really good. It's a shame his kick is out next game. Kick would have been useful. And he's going to have to play with 2 Journeymen, which is really rough. So not looking good going into the next game, but generally looking okay as a team. Could do more blitzes level up. And the Highgate Wardens only missing a lineman for their next game, which is a big one for them, so that's good. You have the ridiculous thrower, you know, he's got his dodge, accurate and his sure hands, so only a 1 in 36 to fail to pick up the ball. Does long bombs on a 4-up with pass and safe throw. Basically can never fail. 2 Blodge Blitzers, 1 with guard, I've seen that. This Pseudo Blitzer, I love this guy. Rinfilarion Alenithia. He took his Mighty Blow, he's took his block, he's took his tackle, he doesn't need dodge, he doesn't even want to be an elf catcher, right? He was born a blitzer in his heart and he knows it. I hope he gets a lot of Kaz. I'll just check. Does he have Kaz to his? He's caused 6. What a guy. 6 Kaz and 6 touchdowns. He's killed 2 people. Rinthilarion Elenithia might actually be one of the most successful players in the entire division, if not the most successful player. What an absolute lad. I love him. That's a great. I love it. I don't have much else to say about the rest of this team. It's very nice. It's very consistent. I love this guy. He gets my MVP. I don't know what he's the MVP of. He just gets it. So anyway, that was it. If there's anything I said here that you really disagree with, let me know. If there's anything that I questioned here, you can fill me in. If there's anything I said you really agree with, you can send me a thumbs up. And if in general you just want a more in-depth understanding of why I've said certain things, you can always bring that up too. Don't I really have time to make videos all the time, but I can always use mobile Discord. I love chatting Blood Bowl. And I wish you all good luck in the next games. If I said you're going to lose, prove me wrong. If I said you're going to win, please win so I don't look stupid. It's my one request of you. Cheers guys.